Charlie was a golden retriever with a gleaming golden coat, bright eyes, and a spirited energy that radiated life. He wasn't just a pet. He was the heart and pride of the Wilson family, a three-generation household in a cozy suburban home. To Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, Charlie was a companion for peaceful walks. To the young couple Laura and Michael, he symbolized the bond of family. And to 8-year-old Timmy, Charlie was a loyal friend, always ready to chase after a stray balloon or play tirelessly under the afternoon sun. Those days were beautiful. Charlie's joyful barks echoed across the garden, where he and Timmy created countless memories filled with laughter. Whether it was a simple game or a mission to find a missing shoe, Charlie always charged ahead with enthusiasm. His innocence and boundless energy brought a vitality that uplifted everyone around him. But life often takes unexpected turns, and the Wilson family was unprepared for what lay ahead. Charlie began exhibiting strange behavior. He bumped into furniture, struggled to jump onto his favorite chair, and found it difficult to chase the familiar ball. His once bright eyes grew dim, replaced by a lost, unfocused gaze. Visits to the vet brought mounting concern, culminating in a heartbreaking diagnosis. Charlie had an untreatable degenerative eye condition that would gradually rob him of his sight until complete blindness. The news struck like a dark cloud over the Wilson family. They were faced with a harsh reality. Their once vibrant dog was now plunging into darkness, both literally and figuratively. At first, Charlie tried to adapt, but the growing helplessness of a world fading to black left him despondent. Once an active, spirited dog, Charlie became quiet and withdrawn. He stopped playing, no longer rushed to the door to greet Timmy after school, and instead curled up in the corner of the room, his drooping ears silently rejecting interaction. The Wilson family couldn't bear to see this change. Timmy cried quietly as he watched his best friend sink into darkness. Laura and Michael spent countless late nights researching ways to help blind dogs regain their joy in life. Despite their age, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson dedicated extra time to being with Charlie, but all their efforts seemed to fall short. The family felt helpless. They longed for the vibrant days when Charlie was the center of their joy and connection. But now, all they could do was watch him sink deeper into a sadness they couldn't seem to pull him out of. Laura, ever the optimist, refused to give up. "We have to find a way," she said to Michael one quiet evening. "Charlie has given this family so much happiness. It's time we do something to repay him." No one knew where the solution would come from, but the family united in resolve. They wouldn't let Charlie spend the rest of his days in darkness and loneliness. That's when they came up with the idea of finding Charlie a companion, a guiding light for his days ahead. And as if by destiny, the solution was waiting for them in an unexpected place, in the form of a tiny figure with bright, intelligent eyes and a heart as warm as Charlie's had always been. At the rescue center, dozens of glimmering eyes peered at them through the bars. Dogs and cats of all colors and sizes called out for attention, but one small, sharp gaze immediately captured Laura's focus. It belonged to Luna, a gray cat with a soft coat and eyes that sparkled like tiny lanterns. The rescue center's staff described Luna as a unique cat, intelligent, lively, and always curious about her surroundings. "She has a strong personality," the staff member said with a smile. "I think Luna would make an incredible companion." The Wilson family decided to adopt Luna that very day. Timmy excitedly named the cat, inspired by the gentle yet resolute strength of the moon. As he carried the cat carrier, Timmy whispered, "Luna, you'll help Charlie find his smile again, won't you?" When they arrived home, Luna was introduced to Charlie. But unlike the warm welcome the Wilson family gave Luna, Charlie avoided her completely. Rising slowly from his familiar corner, Charlie walked away, seemingly rejecting the new member's presence. Luna, however, wasn't one to give up easily. The little cat was persistent in her efforts to connect with Charlie. At first, Luna sat at a respectful distance, far enough not to disturb him. Gradually, she began making small gestures, gently placing a paw on Charlie's back, nuzzling against his legs, or simply lying quietly nearby when he slept. At first, Charlie maintained his distance. He didn't understand why this tiny creature was so determined. But over time, Luna's presence began to make a small but noticeable difference. One morning, as the Wilson family prepared breakfast, Luna softly rolled a yarn ball toward Charlie. She tapped the ball with her paw, pushing it closer before stepping back, her bright eyes gleaming with anticipation. At first, Charlie ignored it. But then, for reasons no one could explain, he slowly lowered his head and nudged the ball with his nose. The gesture was small, but to the Wilson family, it was a sign of hope. Luna, as if understanding her mission, continued with quiet persistence. Each day, the clever little cat used her intelligence and patience to coax Charlie out of the shell he had built around himself. One afternoon, Laura sat in the living room, silently observing Luna and Charlie. She realized that although Charlie hadn't fully opened up, he no longer curled up in his corner as he once did. Luna's patience seemed to be illuminating the shadows in Charlie's heart. With Luna's arrival, the atmosphere in the Wilson home grew livelier. Timmy began spending time playing with both of them, using toys to encourage interaction between the cat and the dog. Mr. and Mrs. Wilson, who used to sigh with worry, now smiled as they watched the two animals slowly learn to coexist. Luna wasn't just a new companion. The small cat, with her intelligence and determination, became a beacon of light, a source of motivation for Charlie to step out of the darkness. The Wilson family, witnessing the slow but meaningful transformation, knew they had found the perfect companion for their beloved dog. Luna's persistence began to bear fruit. Charlie, once a dog lost in the darkness of fear and grief, was starting to find a new light. Luna wasn't just a companion, she became the eyes Charlie needed, both literally and figuratively. The changes were subtle at first, but enough for the Wilson family to notice the difference. One morning, Luna found Charlie curled up near the back door. Instead of trying to grab his attention as she usually did, Luna gently approached him and rubbed her cheek against his leg. The little cat let out a soft meow, as if inviting him to follow. Charlie hesitated, his ears twitching slightly, as if listening. Undeterred, Luna rubbed against his leg again, then slowly moved toward the door. With every step she took, she paused and looked back at Charlie, as if encouraging him to follow. And then, something miraculous happened. Charlie lifted his paw and took a slow, tentative step toward Luna. It was the first time in months that Charlie had ventured outside into the garden. Once his favorite place, the garden was where Laura Wilson had lovingly planted flowers, where Timmy had run and played with him, and where the gentle sunlight would warm his golden fur. But since losing his vision, the garden, like everything else, had become unfamiliar and intimidating. Luna guided Charlie by continually brushing against his legs and using her soft meows as directional cues. Whenever Charlie hesitated, Luna returned to his side, nuzzling him gently as if to reassure him that he wasn't alone. Step by step, Luna led Charlie on a walk around the garden. Watching from the kitchen window, Laura felt tears well up in her eyes. She stood clutching a mug of coffee, overcome with emotion. Timmy, sitting quietly on the porch steps, seemed equally moved, unwilling to disturb the precious moment. As Mark and Donna walked, then something happened that left the whole family speechless. As Luna paused under the large oak tree, Charlie hesitated momentarily before his tail began to wag. It wasn't the strong, exuberant wag of a playful dog, but a gentle, hopeful movement. A sign that Charlie was starting to rediscover the joy he thought he had lost. From that day on, Luna and Charlie became inseparable. Luna didn't just guide Charlie through familiar spaces like the kitchen or living room. She also gave him a sense of safety and confidence. Whenever Charlie showed signs of anxiety, Luna would be there, curling up next to him and soothing him with her soft purring. Luna didn't stop at guiding Charlie. She found ways to encourage him to engage in playful activities. Every afternoon, Luna would bring a small ball and place it in front of Charlie, tapping it lightly with her paw to grab his attention. At first, Charlie would only sniff the ball, but eventually he started nudging it back toward Luna with his nose. These games were more than just moments of fun. They were exercises in rebuilding Charlie's confidence. Through her intelligence and unwavering dedication, Luna became not just a guide, but a healer for the wounds in Charlie's heart. The Wilson family couldn't help but marvel at the symbiotic relationship forming between the two. Luna, with her keen awareness, seemed to understand every nuance of Charlie's emotions, and Charlie, though unable to see, always felt the presence and care of his small yet determined friend. One evening, as Laura entered the living room, she found Luna and Charlie lying side by side. Luna was curled up next to Charlie, while the large dog lay still, his head tilted slightly toward Luna, as if listening to her gentle purring. The sight brought an overwhelming sense of warmth to Laura's heart. She realized then that in this world, love and empathy transcend species and appearances. Luna, through her relentless devotion, had helped Charlie rediscover the light he thought he had lost forever. And Charlie, by accepting Luna's friendship, showed that no matter how difficult life may seem, love and trust can overcome any obstacle. It was a peaceful afternoon. The golden rays of the setting sun streamed through the windows, bathing the Wilson home in a warm glow. Timmy was working on his homework at the kitchen table, while Charlie and Luna lounged lazily on the rug near the fireplace. But the calm didn't last for long. The sky suddenly turned a murky gray. Strong winds began to whip through the trees in the garden, bending the branches violently. Laura glanced up, worry etched on her face as she realized a storm was approaching. She hurried to shut all the windows and called Timmy to help. "Charlie, Luna, come here," Laura called. But Charlie appeared uneasy. The howling winds made him restless. He darted back and forth, his head lowered and his tail tucked between his legs. Luna immediately sensed his distress. The little cat stayed close, rubbing against Charlie's legs as if to reassure him. Then a sudden clap of thunder shattered the air. Startled, Charlie panicked and bolted straight out to the backyard where the gate had been blown open by the wind. Laura and Timmy rushed after him, but Charlie had already disappeared into the thick darkness of the storm. Timmy burst into tears. "Mom, what's going to happen to Charlie?" Laura fought to keep her composure. "Don't worry, we'll find him," she said firmly, though her voice trembled with worry. Luna, sensing the urgency, immediately darted out into the storm. The fierce winds buffeted her tiny frame, but the little cat pressed on with determination. She ran in the direction Charlie had gone, letting out constant, sharp cries as she went. Meanwhile, Charlie was running blindly in the darkness, each step filled with fear. Unable to see or recognize his surroundings, he felt more lost than ever before. But then, a familiar sound broke through the chaos. The persistent, comforting call of Luna. Charlie lifted his head, his ears perking up as he strained to listen. Luna's cries grew louder, clearer, and more insistent, guiding him step by step. The wind continued to howl and fallen branches littered the path, creating obstacles, yet Luna didn't falter. The little cat used her body to nudge Charlie in the right direction, pausing occasionally to ensure he was still following. Back at the house, Laura and Timmy braved the torrential rain, armed with flashlights as they scoured the area. They called out for Charlie and Luna, but the roar of the storm drowned out their voices. "Timmy, go check with the neighbors and see if they've seen them. I'll keep looking in the garden," Laura said, her voice heavy with worry. After nearly an hour of desperate searching, Laura stumbled upon a sight that brought tears to her eyes. In a corner of the garden, beneath a large bush, Luna was curled up tightly against Charlie. The tiny gray cat was using her body to shield the trembling dog from the relentless downpour. Charlie, drenched and shivering, seemed comforted by Luna's presence. His tail gave a faint wag as he heard Laura's approaching footsteps. "Oh my goodness, Luna, Charlie, there you are!" Laura cried, rushing to gather them into her arms. Carefully, she scooped up Luna and gently guided Charlie back to the warmth of the house. When Timmy returned and saw that both of them were safe, he let out a joyful cry, tears of relief streaming down his face. That night, the Wilson family wrapped both Charlie and Luna in soft, warm towels. Laura lovingly stroked their fur while Timmy whispered heartfelt thanks to Luna for saving Charlie. The storm had passed, but the bond between Luna and Charlie had grown even stronger. From that moment on, the Wilson family had no doubt that Luna was more than just a companion. She was a guiding light, not just for Charlie, but for all of them. One weekend morning, as Timmy played in the yard with Charlie and Luna, Laura sat by the window, watching the two four-legged friends frolic together. The stormy night had long passed, but the bond between them had only grown stronger. Looking at Charlie, now no longer timid or fearful, Laura felt an overwhelming sense of joy. "Timmy, I think we should share this story," Laura said, a smile lighting up her face. "People need to know that love can create miracles." Laura wrote a heartfelt post for social media, recounting the journey of Charlie and Luna, from the day Luna joined their family to the formation of their unique friendship and the night they braved the storm together. She highlighted Luna's role in helping Charlie regain his confidence and zest for life. The post included touching photos, Luna gently guiding Charlie, the two curled up together after the storm, and Charlie joyfully wagging his tail as Luna played with him. "Sometimes, light doesn't come from the sun but from true friendship," Laura concluded her post with this line. Within hours, the story went viral. Comments, likes, and shares poured in. Strangers from all over expressed their gratitude to the Wilson family for sharing such a meaningful tale amidst the busyness and challenges of life. "Your story makes me want to adopt a rescue dog," one person commented. "I used to think dogs and cats couldn't get along, but this story proves otherwise," another added. Even animal rescue organizations reached out to Laura, asking her to share more about Luna and Charlie's journey, to raise awareness about pet adoption and the incredible power of compassion. The Wilson family story resonated deeply with others who began sharing similar tales. One person spoke about their cat that saved an injured sparrow and became its companion. Another family shared how their dog cared for a fawn lost in the woods. These small acts, these simple stories of kindness from both animals and humans, slowly but surely spread love and compassion within the community. In the Wilsons' neighborhood, Luna and Charlie were no longer ordinary pets. They became symbols of connection that transcends species, of friendships that require no words, and of empathy that knows no bounds. With Luna's guidance, Charlie no longer feared the darkness. He regained his strength and became an integral part of the lives of those around him. Luna, with her intelligence and immense heart, continued to show that sometimes the smallest beings can accomplish the most extraordinary feats. The story of Luna and Charlie didn't just inspire, it brought people closer together. Laura realized that even the smallest actions, like adopting a mischievous gray cat, could transform lives, bringing light to the darkest day. And so, from a simple social media post, the tale of Luna and Charlie's friendship became a spark that spread kindness, illuminating the hearts of countless people. In the gentle morning sunlight, Charlie moved slowly through the flower-filled garden he once adored. Beside him, Luna walked patiently, brushing against Charlie's legs whenever a change in direction was needed. Although Charlie could no longer see the world around him, he was no longer afraid. Luna had become his light, his guide, and the steadfast friend he never imagined he would have. The Wilson family often gathered to reflect on the remarkable journey of these two four-legged companions, from the days when Charlie hid in the shadows to Luna's miraculous arrival, bringing not only companionship but also the courage Charlie needed to overcome his fears and rediscover joy in life. Laura smiled as she watched Charlie and Luna play together. She turned to her husband and said, "Charlie doesn't need his eyes anymore because now he sees the world through Luna." The two had become inseparable. Whether at home, in the yard, or on walks through the neighborhood, Luna was always by Charlie's side. Whenever Charlie felt uneasy, Luna would let out a soft meow, a reassuring reminder that she was still there. And Charlie, though blind, wagged his tail joyfully whenever Luna gently touched him. One day, a neighbor's child asked Laura, "How can a cat and a dog love each other so much?" Laura smiled and replied, "Love doesn't need a reason, and friendship doesn't need an explanation. It simply happens, and when it does, it's beautiful." The story of Charlie and Luna didn't just transform the Wilson family's life. It ignited a passion within them. Laura and John decided to dedicate time to charitable activities, helping abandoned animals and raising awareness about the importance of adoption. They often brought Charlie and Luna to community events at rescue centers. Laura shared, "We didn't just adopt Charlie and Luna. They taught us that true love knows no boundaries. Compassion turned two broken souls into our greatest source of pride." Timmy, inspired by Luna and Charlie's friendship, joined his mother in volunteering at animal shelters, caring for abandoned dogs and cats. "I want to help other animals find friends like Luna and Charlie found each other," he said with determination. The days passed peacefully. Charlie and Luna remained inseparable, sharing their lives with a loving family. Their story spread throughout the area, inspiring countless others. Flowers and leaves grew on every grave. The Wilson family found happiness not only in their two companions, but also in the realization that compassion and mutual support are the foundation of a better world. They chose to share this message through every action, story, and act of kindness. At the heart of it all, Charlie and Luna, a blind dog and a tiny cat, became a living testament to love without boundaries, the power of empathy, and the magic of true friendship. "Family doesn't always begin with blood," Laura said during a community talk. "Sometimes it starts with small acts of kindness and grows from moments of love." As the sun set in a radiant sky, Charlie lay beside Luna, the two curled up together in perfect serenity. And under the Wilson family's roof, a beautiful story had found its most fulfilling conclusion.